Hello, everybody. Welcome to Offshoot Comics Off Topic. I'm your host, Black Superman, also known as Walter Bryant. I'm here with CM.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing very well, thank you. So, tell us, what are we here for today?
Well, we're talking about Mission, which is the sci-fi lucha libre film that I'm making, starring Mil Mascaras, who, if you're not familiar, is a famous luchador, masked Mexican wrestler. And he's been around making these movies since like the 60s, and now he's back in this film.
So how did you meet him?
Well, I actually got the film through the writer, because the writer of this film has made 2 previous films with the same wrestler, Mil Mascaras, and they were produced through my old university, the University of Missouri, Columbia, and I worked on the original film, Mil Mascaras versus the Aztec Mummy, for one day. And then basically I never saw or heard anything about it. I graduated school and then I moved to El Paso, Texas, and I did graduate school and I came out here to LA, and I basically lost touch with the friend who originally put me on the set working. And then I just noticed one day he was in LA. I noticed on Facebook, and we got together and they were like, hey, we're making another of these crazy wrestling movies with Mil Mascaras. Since you're out here in LA and you want to make movies, why don't you look at the script? So that was about 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So I've been working with it, trying to build funding for it. And so most recently we turned to Indiegogo to do that. So
what's it like working with a legend?
Well, I only worked with him that one day. And at the time, I certainly didn't know I would be here. I remember I talked to him. He's very sweet. I talked to him on the phone. Can you call a luchador sweet? I don't know. But he's a very, very nice guy, very smart. He's also, he's a star athlete, as I'm sure you know. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame last year. He's a scholar. He's an artist. He's an actor. He's an all-around kind of Renaissance man. And it's great talking to him. He always has good opinions and good input on things, and he's a smart guy.
Well, yeah, me personally, I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a humongous wrestling fan. It goes God, Superman, wrestling. That's my.
Well, that's the way it should be.
Exactly. So I'm very well with Mil Mascaras. I mean, even as a kid, I saw a few of his movies when in late night when I wasn't supposed to be up on TV watching TV. So don't tell my mom. But. I'm really excited to hear that he's making new movies, and I'm sure that a lot of his fans are going to be excited to hear that he's making these new movies too. So, where will people be able to see this?
Well, actually, we have an acquisition agreement, and talking about the fans, you're right. They're the ones who go the craziest for them. Mil Mascaras has the best fans in the world. They love him. They came out even the other wrestlers are his fans, which is really amazing. He has in our video, you'll see Cassandra, and Los Chivos, and they're these guys came and did this video because they're such big fans. And so, our goal is to get it to those people, not just the wrestlers, but to all the people who idolize him. A fan yesterday just sent me a picture of himself wearing a Mil Mascaras mask because he just wanted to share that with us, which was really awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So we're starting to get more and more stuff like that. We've really built the Facebook page and everything. So we have a lot of fans on there now, and really hardcore sci-fi fans and lucha libre fans, which is our core audience. So one thing really great about this film is that we've gotten an acquisition agreement. There's a company that I use a lot, and I'm on their website. It's called Film Break, and they work a lot with distribution, and so they're collecting more films, and they kind of have done this thing where they can cut out a lot of the middlemen in acting sort of in film talk like a sales agent to get us to the distribution. So we actually have an agreement that they can acquire our film and push it through to some of the VOD and digital platforms. So it's much more accessible to our audience. Once we get it made, they will be able to see it. And that's a really great thing because not a lot of filmmakers get that, especially at this stage when there's still officially very little financing attached. And it's a niche genre film, and it's hard to find people to risk financing that. And so for them to give us this agreement and say, yes, we're gonna take your film and you're gonna have a route to making those funds back, and you're gonna have the chance to get it to your audience is pretty awesome.
That's very cool. So I know that Mil Mascaras means 1,000 masks. He's a man of 1,000 masks. I watched a few of his matches, and one of his gimmicks was been when things happened to him, he got jumped or whatever, someone would take off his mask, he would have another mask.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him without the mask?
No, I have not. No, I have not seen him without the mask. You don't want to see him without the mask because
No,
it like
you don't.
it's
But
gonna
I mean,
ruin it for you. But no, I haven't.
but if for this film, how many different masks will he be wearing?
Oh wow, that's a really good. I haven't even counted. It's so funny. There are some that are specifically written into the script. And Jeffrey Ullman, who wrote the script, is like he's kind of the master at reviving this genre. He's done an amazing job, and so he really understands these, and so he understands that the fans want to see the masks, and they want to see like how many different like amazing designs is he going to have. And so there are a few that are written into the script. I'll say one is like a coordinated kind of jungle mask. Mm-hmm. And then some of his classic, you'll definitely see the classic design with the M and the black and white. I'm sure we'll have that. But some of it's, it's a little up to me how that unfolds and the kinds of masks that we come up with, because we can... I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work, but it's pretty open to doing a lot of creative stuff. I mean, I have ideas in my head, but we'll see how it works.
And does he keep the cape?
Oh, that's still to be decided. I picture him wearing a cape. I picture him wearing a cape for sure. But it's not like he has to have it. But yeah, I mean, that's
he has to have the
cape. He will have the cape.
The Black Superman has said he must have the cape.
Then it is done.
So, without spoiling too much of the movie, what's this movie going to be about? Well,
this movie is about Mil Mascaras and the professor, who, if you're a big fan of the movies, you remember the professor from the Mummy film. And they're kind of trekking through the jungle looking for what they think is a meteorite. And they come across a village, and in the village, there are very few people left. They've all been killed by some kind of gruesome attack, so we don't know what's happening. And there's Father Tiro and Sister Tracy, and of course they all know who Mil Mascaras is. And they help him to search for what they think is a meteorite, but it turns out, of course, to be an alien spaceship landing site. Not a crash landing site, a purposefully landed spacecraft from outer space. And of course, the aliens are kind of ambiguous about their intentions here on Earth, saying they want to learn, but ultimately they don't want to learn. They want to control. And so it's up to Mil Mascaras and his friends to save the human race from that terrible fate.
That sounds awesome. Not just because it's Mil Mascaras, but because I'm also a humongous sci-fi fan as well. I mean, and you kind of have to be a comic book fan, to be a comic book author. To be the kind of nerd that I am, this is pretty much Nirvana. So I'm looking forward to seeing this film. I'm looking forward to seeing this film be made. So I want to help you get it made. How do we help you get this made?
Well, Indiegogo is our route to funding right now. And, it's not just about, it took me a long time to come to the Indiegogo. When I first started, working with this film 2 years ago, that was the question out of everyone's mouth, because really, it was about 2 or 3 years ago, crowdfunding really started to take off on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And so that was the first thing that everybody said was, are you gonna do crowdfunding? Are you gonna do this? And I would say, no way, I'm not doing that, because it seemed really wrong. The whole premise seemed wrong to me, to ask the fans to pay for the film and then ask them to buy a ticket when it comes out. That just seemed like counterintuitive to what I wanted to do, because it is something totally for the fans here. And so it took me a long time, and I did a lot of market research and a lot of finding out things that indie filmmakers don't really do as much, which is finding where's your audience, where are they, who are they actually going to go watch this, do they really want to see this movie that bad so that we want to make it. And the answer was yes. They're like you. They really want to see this movie. Mm-hmm. And so it was really in January when I was having a conversation with some wrestling promoters, because I was starting to get more involved in the Lucha Libre community. And the guy said, he really wanted to get involved with this film and help us make it. And he was like, what happened to that Mummy film? Didn't you guys make a movie with a mummy? And I thought, yeah. And actually, I worked on that movie, and I didn't see or hear anything about that movie until 6 years later. I had no idea what happened. I hadn't seen it. I didn't know what happened, and that's when it clicked for me. And I said crowdfunding was the way to make people aware that this is happening, so that it doesn't end up with some of these movies where it takes super fans like you to really search for them. Mm-hmm. It should be made available. You don't have to search as much. So that was really the catalyst for me choosing crowdfunding. So I've really been working on this crowdfunding campaign since April, and we've done a lot of outreach, a lot of building, especially our Facebook page, getting the acquisition agreement, and now we have, if you're an American Horror Story fan, Naomi Grossman, who played Pepper in American Horror Story Asylum. She's the crazy pinhead, and she's joined our cast as well, which is pretty awesome. And that was really when I decided to why I decided to go to crowdfunding, because it was such a great opportunity to reach the fans. So you can go to Indiegogo, and you should be able to search Mission, and you should be able to find it pretty soon. There aren't a lot of films named Mission, although a lot of things have mission statements, so it's a little confusing. But ours is the actual film called Mission, and you'll see, of course, Mil Mascaras' mask with the M. And it's on Indiegogo, and we've got some great perks, and I just came up with a new one that I'm really excited to announce. I'm not going to say it here because we haven't worked out the logistics, but it's a very personal perk for a very low cost that I think the audience is going to really like. And we have really amazing perks on there, like Daniel Gonzalez action figures, who this is a guy who customizes these action figures. It takes him about 3 months to make it from the materials and design it and everything. So he actually has a Mil Mascaras action figure with changeable masks. So you can take the mask off and turn it around things. I'm
going to be needing to put forward a little bit of money here, because that I have to have it.
Yeah,
I have to. It's a done deal. Whatever that amount is, that's going to be done.
Yeah, and the good thing is if you get that one, you get a lot of other cool stuff, like you'll get the T-shirt, the DVD, the download, because that's a pretty pricey perk, because it's a pretty pricey item, and there are not a lot of them, and you're not going to find that anywhere. It's pretty special. So we have a lot of really cool stuff on the perks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as you're working on this and as it's going on, I know that it's a lot of work, especially with all the promotions and everything that goes about it. So where do you find the energy and the time to do this?
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm not, I only moonlight as a sci-fi lucha libre filmmaker. My day job is actually teaching English as a second language at UCLA Extension.
Wow.
So I do have a day job on top of all of this. And, this is my first feature film. And when this film came to me, like, nobody gets that for a first-time film. Nobody gets the opportunity to do this for the first time. It's not something, the time is there. We all have 24 hours. It's up to you how you use it. But the time is there. It's taken me longer, I think, than it would, a team of 5 people working full-time for sure. And then there, of course, it's LA, and so people get really excited, and they jump on board, and then they disappear, and then they come back, and, so you have to, like, kind of, you can dish out a workload occasionally, and then if those people disappear, then you have to take it back on, and you have to, kind of rework what you were doing. So that happens a lot in this process, like people helping me whenever they can, which is great, and then they have busy schedules too, and so then I have to absorb the workload again and kind of start over in some places. So I don't know, I work a lot at night, and I work on the weekends, and I have a bit of an obsessive personality, so
that helps.
I don't own a TV. So I don't own a TV, and all hobbies have ceased at this point. Occasionally I'll go to a gym, but that's it. So yeah, I don't know, I just do it a lot, that's all.
If someone wanted to help you, how would they get in touch with you to go about, I don't know, becoming part of your team?
That's a good question. Actually, the best way probably to do that, because my email is really long, but I can send you my email if you just message me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/cmlandrus, Landrus. You can just message me personally. I'm always checking that. You could also message the movie, filmbreak.com/missionmovie. And you can find me on Twitter, CM Landrus, although I think it's a different handle, but if you search CM Landrus, I'm the only one that comes up. And also Twitter is the same one, Twitter/missionmovie. So I check those all the time, and I always respond to things. And right now there are some other people helping us with the Mission Facebook and Twitter, so I'm not checking that as much, but I still see it. I'm still attached to it. So you can message me anytime on those, and I'll get back to you.
Excellent. Well, I'm hoping this does really well, because I want to see more of them. I mean, I'm already putting it out there in the universe that this one has to do well, so that I can get another Mil Mascaras movie. I'm sure that you also want to do other kinds of work also. So hopefully this will be a springboard for you to be able to do this full time, to be able to get to where you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. so I can see more of these.
Yeah, I hope so. I would. That's the idea. In fact, when you said how do you find the time and whatnot, I was actually simultaneously working on this and developing a production company, and I realized you can only have so many full-time jobs. Mm-hmm. So I put the company down and started working full-time on the film in January or February. And because I realized I need to finish this one first, and I have a tendency to start many things, and so I really focused on this so that it can be that springboard, as you say, to the next film. And I like diversity, so I look forward to seeing what kind of my next project is going to be. I know I've written a feature-length script, and I've worked with some other writers on their scripts. So, and they're all very different projects, and I don't want to be pigeonholed as the sci-fi lucha libre director. Not that that's a bad thing. If you got to be pigeonholed, that's the way to go. But yeah, we'll see what's next. I love this cult genre though. Like anything like George A. Romero and all those classic cult movies. That's what I really love too. So making this is a big deal for me as both a fan and a filmmaker.
Well, once you get done with this and you get back to working on your production company, I know that at least for us, a lot of people have reached out to us because we are, as a small indie company, we are one of the few companies that will listen to people just because they have a good idea. Like when you get to the larger companies, they no longer care anymore. They see a million scripts a day, so they're not really listening. So we hear from a lot of people, and I'm sure that you're going to hear from a lot of people too. So when you get ready to put your production company up and start hearing from people, you should send us a link so we can get people in touch with you.
I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
So before we sign off, is there anything that you want to let the fans know?
Well, if I had to, I pitch to the fans all the time, and honestly, this is a movie for the fans, and that's it. And it's Lucha Libre, and as any Lucha Libre fan knows, Lucha Libre doesn't exist without the fans. It's not like soccer where you can go and play an indoor game with your friends. You don't get like luchadors out there doing backflips and having their own matches. It doesn't exist like that. It's for the fans. The films are for the fans, and this is the first time that the fans have ever really had a chance to be a part of it on this level. And it's not just about donating money to this campaign. Any amount. If you want to donate $1, that's fine. It's a big deal that you share this film. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Use the links on the Indiegogo campaign. That's every bit as important as the actual contributions. That helps us gain visibility, and that helps it ultimately just get it to you. It's one step closer to you. So this is really a film for the fans, and so we hope you'll all get involved and share and everything.
Well, I know that we will. I'll make sure of it.
Great.
Well, Siam, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for sharing with us. Thanks for bringing Mil Mascaras back to the big screen.
My pleasure.
And hopefully we will enjoy many more of your works.
Thanks.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun talking about wrestling and movies, sci-fi, comic books. Oh, it's beautiful. It's been a beautiful day. So until next time, I've been your host, Black Superman, also known as Walter Bryant, with CM Landrus. Thank you. Bye.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, and share our videos like crazy.
That's right, because we love you, we want you to love us, and we want to keep making videos for you.
And keep leaving us comments. We love comments.
Yes, and we answer comments. Unlike some of the other guys, we'll get out there, we'll answer, and if you have a great comment, we'll make a video about it.
And if you have a not so great comment, we will try to address that issue. But thanks. Till next time, we've been your host, Kirby Kid.
And Black Superman.
See you later, guys.